our show. And we got so excited when my first guest was confirmed on the show. She's an Oscar-winning actor. I think we all love doing Jerry Maguire. She was fantastic in Chicago. She's about to return to the big screen in the role she's made her own. It's impossible to think of anyone else as ever being Bridget Jones. It's Renée Zellweger, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely to see you here. Renée Zellweger. And I'm just as excited to say that Renée is joined by her co-star in the new Bridget Jones movie, someone you might know a little better as Dr. McDreamy from the brilliant Grey's Anatomy. A woman gasped when I said that. Always a good sign, but there is a doctor in the house. It's Patrick Dempsey. There he is. Okay. There's so much more on the show tonight. My next guest is one of the finest stage and screen actors of our time. He's the star of such fabulous and diverse movies as Dangerous Liaisons, Con Air, and, of course, who else could have starred in Being John Malkovich than Mr. John Malkovich? The next guest is one of the best stand-ups around at the moment. She's also trained as an actor. It's the hugely talented Aisling Bea, ladies and gentlemen. So, Aisling, I know you're sitting with some of the biggest names in the business, but just to put you at your ease, you are the only one who's appeared in Holby City.
Thank you. Thank you very much. They're really impressed.
And if there's a feel-good vibe in the country right now, my next guest can take most of the credit for it. When they went to the Olympics, they were part of Team Great Britain. When they returned from the Olympics, they were part of Team Got Bling. From our gold medal winning hockey team, we have Holly Webb, Maddie Hinks and Kate Richardson-Walsh. And with them, we have the victors of the velodrome, the Olympics golden couple, Laura Trott and Jason Kenny. And we've got some music for you live performing at the end of the show, the fabulous Tom Odell, ladies and gentlemen. Tom, looking great. But that's it. Now, just before we get to that, I'm not going to go on about it, but there's been one thing that's dominated the summer. Of course, you know what I'm talking about. It's grabbed the attention of billions of people around the world. It's hopefully inspiring us all to get off the sofa and be more active. I'm talking, of course, about Pokemon Go. If I'm honest, I was partly watching the Olympics just to see if Bulbasaur was going to appear in the long jump here. Of course, the greatest show on earth this summer. I'm joking, it isn't Pokemon, it was the Olympic Games. Unless you were Russian, in which case they were called the We Didn't Want to Go Anyway Games. But weren't the Olympics brilliant, ladies and gentlemen? They were just incredible. And Usain Bolt, of course, went on to win 3 golds, which is astonishing, because as I understand it, he hardly gets any sleep. I mean, the accommodation they gave him sounded like a nightmare. Every night he had to share his bed with at least 2 other people. I mean, poor Usain. OK, we should really get on with the show. This is one green room, ram-packed with guests. I don't know how we fit them all in. It's practically standing room only. If you look around there, I hope everyone is comfortable there and... Oh, no. What a shame. What a shame. Jeremy, you should have booked in advance like the rest of us do. Should we get my first guest out, ladies and gentlemen? I think we should. From the soon-to-be smash hit movie Bridget Jones' Baby, it's Renée Zellweger and Patrick Dempsey.
No, that was for you.
I think the whistles were for me. Yeah. Okay. So great to have you back on the show. Thank you so much for coming on. Bridget Jones, back on the big screen. It's out this Friday. I've seen it. I loved it, and I'm almost embarrassed to say I cried a little bit at the end.
Oh, that's really good news.
Yeah, it's good news. 12 years since the last one. So, where is Bridget in her life?
Well, she's a little bit older. And she's moved on in her life a little bit, probably less naive, more professionally accomplished, but still hopelessly romantic, which I'm so glad about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what we love about her in a way, of course.
Yeah, I think so.
Did you have to relearn being Bridget? To get back into playing her? Because the accent, everyone was so amazed when you first played her that you nailed the accent so brilliantly. So to get back into it, was there a new learning curve, or did it come back to you very easily?
Well, I have a lot of help. I have Elena and lovely Barbara Berkery, who's very intimidating. She's very stern, and she sits close by waiting for me to mess up. So, yeah, I'm scared into it, really.
And she's a vocal coach or just a nasty piece of work? Patrick, were you a fan of the films beforehand? Were you excited when you got the call to join in?
I was indeed, yes.
Would you like to...
No, I was. I was happy. It was nice to
That's
get
the worst answer anyone's ever given me. So, I've had some bad answers, Patrick.
Thanks for your honesty. I appreciate that. I feel very welcome.
Yeah,
no,
good.
I had a great time.
Without giving anything too much away, you are a new man on the scene in Bridget's
Indeed,
life.
yes.
OK, you play, is it Jack Quant?
Jack, yes,
Okay.
Jack Quant.
And what's he doing in the film? What's he living?
He developed a dating app. He learned how to quantify getting people together to find happy ever after love.
Were you pleased not to be having to play an English character? Could you do an English character?
I was still getting notes from your dialect coach on my American accent, so I think it'd be a bit of a reach to do an English accent for me right now.
Have you played
I
any-
was relieved, yes, to answer your question.
But filming over here, you must have picked up a bit of our language.
Well, you have to be careful not to be that American who suddenly starts talking like an Englishman. So I was conscious of that. And every time I'd be around Colin, I'm like, ooh, pull it back a little bit. I just want to be very, yes, you know, very bravo.
Because Colin is the very definition of an Englishman with a stick up his arse. So
Well, yeah, I would
In
say
the movie.
quintessential Englishman, yes.
But he's wonderful, of course.
Loose in real life.
OK, let's have a look at a clip. It's Bridget Jones' Baby. It's out this Friday. Here's a little taste.
I'm absolutely loving my new life. Have top job as producer of news program.
I'm looking for someone dynamic to lead. Any volunteers? Do you need the bathroom, Bridget?
And maintaining good relationship with ex.
How are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine.
Glass of wine?
Have a whiskey, please.
Big glass.
Double.
And my love life is showing signs of improvement. Aside from one tiny development, I'm pregnant. Everything is completely under control. Sort of.
Bridget Jones' Baby on the big screen where it belongs. OK, there's a great cameo in the film from Ed Sheeran. We saw him briefly in the clip there. How was it working with Ed? Was it fun to film with Ed?
Oh, he's a great guy. Really, really sweet. Really, really nice guy.
And he's pretty good. I think he kind of acts pretty well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did a good job. I think this was the first thing that he had done. He's a natural.
But when you're starting out in the industry, I guess it must be nerve-wracking when you're working with established names. Did the two of you find that when you were your first jobs, when you were working with people who'd been doing it longer?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I've seen you in some very early work, Patrick, and you had an extraordinary amount of confidence.
Naivete, yes. Ignorance is bliss.
Well, no, I mean, if you don't mind, with your permission, I'm going to show an early clip. I don't know whether this was
I cannot wait to see what you
whether this was you.
discovered.
I think you're going to enjoy this.
I'm sorry, what year was this?
1984.
I don't remember that far back, unfortunately.
How old were you in 84?
I don't remember.
Here we go.
Quite young.
This is because your voice
I'm
is...
sure the fashion was great.
Oh, who knew? I didn't know men wore off-the-shoulder tops.
Oh, I cannot wait to see this.
This is Patrick back in 1984.
Patrick Dempsey.
I almost wore that top tonight. I still have it.
I wish you had. So what was going on there?
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but it's good. I think I was auditioning for a commercial. It was like Sony cassette, I think is what it was. And I actually booked the job.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
I think it was the outfit, certainly.
How could you not?
In the dance moves.
Come on.
You still got those moves?
I still have the top, yes. The moves I don't have. I lost those many years ago.
Renée, let me ask you something. What I found fascinating in your career was that 6 years ago you walked away after My Own Love Song and you decided not to work in film for a while. And that's a very unusual thing for someone to do who's at the height of their professional powers and their careers. So what was it that prompted you? What led to that decision?
There's just a lot of things that you can't really make time for when you're in the cycle of making films, because if you're not preparing for one, then you're promoting the other, and while you're filming, you could be, you know, getting ready to start what comes next. And I had to kind of just commit to breaking that cycle for a little bit so that I could grow as a person. I was boring myself, you know.
Wow. Yeah, what a brave decision.
I don't know.
Did you find any degree of anonymity again? Were you able to sort of travel around and enjoy those things without it being, hey, it's Renée Zellweger?
Yeah, actually. You know, when you go away and you're out of people's consciousness, they stop noticing you. It's fantastic. You order your coffee and you just get a coffee and you leave. you know. Yeah, it's really nice because I meet people authentically. We have authentic conversations on the street, and I enjoy that. That's something that I had missed.
Yeah. If I had that much time off, I imagine it would result in some, you know, developing of skills and crafts, and probably quite a lot of heavy drinking. That would be my fear. Have you? I mean, I guess as an actor anyway, you have a certain amount of time off sometimes anyway, don't you, Patrick? I'm not meaning to imply that you've been unemployed.
Heavy drinking,
but,
my time off.
Yeah.
No, I haven't been heavy drinking.
No.
Recently, no. I'm just sort of coming off a long-term experience sort of with, you know, a show, and it's been nice to sort of step back and enjoy things a little bit more, take the time.
You're talking about Grey's Anatomy, I guess.
Yes.
How many years were you on that show for?
I think it was 11, 12
Wow.
seasons, over 250 some odd episodes. It was a very long run, and it continues to thrive. So.
Patrick, do you ever get used to that response? When a picture came up of you there, a lot of people went, oh, yeah.
It's better than the other one I just witnessed, yeah.
And when you left the series, was that a decision you made and you went to them with, or was it something which they already had in mind for the character?
Yes, I was racing in the World Endurance Championship. I raced with Porsche. Wow. The races are usually 6 hours long. We race at Le Mans and around the world. So I had an opportunity to focus full-time on that, and to get that opportunity was something I didn't want to pass on.
And how's your wife with you racing like that? 'Cause it's a pretty dangerous sport. It must be something that she has some reservation about.
Yeah, she was less than thrilled, certainly, yes. There was a lot of travel, so it took too much time.
Renee's fascinated by my finger, ladies and gentlemen, which is not a sentence I thought I'd be saying. But in a very manly... I injured it on a deck chair last weekend, so... if this was Patrick's finger, you'd be going, wow! So a day off for you, though, Renée, what would you do? We know what he's going to do. He's going to ditch the wife and kids and go off with his pals and break the law on the high road. But you, what would you like to do?
Oh, gosh.
Do you do any crafts? Do you knit? Or have you whittled a spoon ever? Do you weld? Have you ever grouted tiles?
Yes, I'm working on my house at the moment, so I'd probably go run up and do that. Probably, yeah. I love it.
And are you what we would call handy around the home?
I think so, yeah. I can't knit, but yeah, I could build a septic system if you needed me to.
That's useful, actually, more than knitting.
That's more fun.
Yeah,
but not as nice to wear. You've already noticed the remarkable aphrodisiac effect you have on people.
Right.
Patrick.
Okay.
And we have some tweets that have been going out since Grey's Anatomy's been showing over here.
Yes.
And I thought I would read a few out.
Oh, I can't wait to hear
that's
them.
okay. But then I realised I don't really have the voice to do them dramatic justice.
Right.
And I thought, well, we have John Malkovich.
Oh, yeah, wonderful.
One of the finest actors of our time.
Yes, he is one of the finest
And
actors.
I wonder whether John would mind reading out some of the...
Here he is. Oh, wow. this is wonderful.
Grey's Anatomy is now on Netflix. I would do things to Patrick Dempsey that are probably illegal in some countries.
Wow.
It's great to know.
I had a dream that I almost had sex with Patrick Dempsey, and I've honestly never woken up more disappointed in my life.
Well, you're not responsible for that. That's a dream.
Thank God it was a dream.
God bless Patrick Dempsey's parents for having sex and creating him. God fucking bless. I can't believe I had a sex dream about Patrick Dempsey. I'm so horny. I just want to lick Patrick Dempsey's teeth. Can you get me Patrick Dempsey so I can sit on his face?
Wow. Okay. Okay. I think that's good.
That was a stirring performance, John. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John Malkovich, ladies and gentlemen, for showing us how it should be done. We are going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back. John Malkovich will be out here on the couch, so don't go away. See you in a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Renée and Patrick are still here with me on the couch, but we are going to bring my next guest out here. I'm not overstating this, I'm not saying this for any other reason, it's true. He's one of my favourite actors, whether on stage or screen of all time. It is the incredible Mr. John Malkovich. Beautifully done, beautifully done.
Thank you very much for that.
John, that was beautifully done. How powerful a dramatic reading that was. Thank you for that,
Thank
sir.
you. Moving stuff.
So you guys worked together. Was that the Transformers movie you did
Yes,
together?
yes.
Yeah. But you didn't have scenes together, I don't think.
No, unfortunately, we didn't.
Is that a shame when you're working with someone who you want to work with and you don't get the chance?
Yes.
It is a shame, but I think on those big films, it happens sometimes, you know.
John, if I think of some of your early films, I think of Dangerous Liaisons in particular, it's sort of a romantic character you play there, a flawed human, no doubt. But it's a romantic thing, and yet you don't get often the romantic roles so much anymore.
No.
I have noticed. Would you like to be in a film like Bridget Jones' Baby? Would you have jumped at a chance like that?
No, honestly, at my age, not so much. 10 years ago or 20 years ago, sure.
I think you're still a fine-looking man.
No, it's not that. It's that. It's.
Well, it is partly that. I think I'm probably in a minority.
I think you might be. Yeah. I think you might be.
I mean, you're not a typical leading man, I guess, is what I'm saying.
No.
Okay.
Never was.
No. And yet, incredible career, remarkable parts, and the parts tended to go towards the kind of the creepy end of the spectrum.
Yeah. I did. I was thinking about it the other day because there's about to be in London a revival of a play I like very much called The Libertine, which was about John Wilmot, the Lord Rochester, the second Earl of Rochester. And I had done it on stage in Chicago, and the play opens with a monologue, and it opens with Lord Rochester explaining that people will not like him, that he will do things they will like, but they won't like him. And at the end of the play, there's a little final kind of epilogue, and it ends with, "Do you like me now? Do you like me now? Do you like me now?" And I think it was opening night or maybe a final preview when I said, "Do you like me now? Do you like me now? Do you like me now?" A woman answered in the audience, "No, your behavior was appalling."
How do you, not that you have to define yourself in any narrow way, but what do you think of yourself as primarily? Because I know you primarily as an actor, but you have directed film, you have directed stage, and you're back directing a play now. How do you think of yourself primarily?
You know, I never think of myself, so if I had a preference of the things I do, it's probably directing plays and watching good actors.
Well, you're here because you have a new play that you've directed opening here this Friday. What's The Good Canary about?
It's a play that was given to me by an American actress, Lucy Liu, which had been written by her then boyfriend, Zach Helm. And she said she wanted me to direct it, and she sort of told me about it, and then she said it's written by my boyfriend, and I was kind of, then I took it upstairs and read it and thought it was fantastic, so I did it in Paris.
And you did it in French, or you did...
In French.
You speak French, of course. Yeah. You sort of started on the stage. Did you guys start on the stage as well, or were you straight into film and television?
Does the school play count?
Yeah, a little.
Okay, okay, yeah. Playing for Time and the White Rabbit and Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. I was looking for something a tiny bit more
proud of that one.
substantial, but I don't know whether... What were you like as a little boy, John? I have trouble picturing you as a child.
I was overweight, very violent. You know, it's the goalie on the field hockey team.
Yeah,
It's
Maddie, who's here this evening, yeah.
Yeah, who they call Mad Dog. And, you know, I have a slight bone to pick with her because that was actually my nickname when I was small. My family would lock the doors and windows of the house, and they would stand at various doors and windows, frothing at the mouth and chanting, "Mad Dog, Mad Dog." Well, I'd be like beating my head against a tree or banging it against the sidewalk or whatever, you know. So that was me.
Come to think of it, I can imagine you as a child, after all.
Not so difficult now.
John, let me ask you about the stunt work in your film, because I'm surprised you've done a lot of your own stunts. I know when you worked with Gerard Depardieu in Man in the Iron Mask, you performed quite a lot of the more challenging roles in that, didn't you?
Yeah. Gerard I've done 5 films with, and Gerard really hates it when you rehearse. He hates it when you know your lines or rehearse your lines. He doesn't like that at all.
That's, I believe, quite unusual in acting, isn't
It's
it?
somewhat unusual, yeah. He calls you grandmother when you do that. Wow. And he really hates it when you practice your sword fights and things like that.
Yeah, who wants to be safe?
Yeah. So we'd had this long series of fight in Man in the Iron Mask, rehearsed for weeks and weeks. It was one long continuous take, and the director explained, there's one thing, we can stop the take, anything can happen, everything can happen, one thing can't happen. John can't fall into the water, because I had this leather costume that was sort of all embroidered, et cetera, and we only had one of them.
So you couldn't get that wet?
Yeah. So we start and we fight our way down the steps, and it's going okay, and et cetera, and it goes on and on. We go on and on and on, and then as I get on the boat, of course, Gerard grabs the oar, hits me in the stomach, knocks me overboard, then looks over and goes, "But why did he fall in the water? He rehearsed so much."
Gerard.
And all because he wanted to go down to his house for the weekend and get off on Friday and get a kind of head start on the drinking.
You know, I'm going to wrap it up here now, but I feel bad that we don't show the audience what was under the desk, Patrick.
Okay.
I hope you don't mind this. Have you ever juggled by any chance, John?
No.
Renee, have you ever juggled?
I've mastered 2.
You can juggle with 2?
It's not impressive.
You have to take 3 in here.
Patrick, you can
It
juggle.
doesn't. Yeah,
Yes,
it doesn't count.
I was second in the International Jugglers Competition.
Wow.
Junior division in 1982.
Patrick, so you win at racing, you win at juggling. What are you compensating for? OK, so I wonder, would you like to see Patrick juggle a little bit, ladies and gentlemen? We got 1.
Clubs, yes. Okay.
We got 2.
Yes, these are clubs or pins.
And you can do it with 3?
Yes, 3.
OK, let's get
3
it.
would be a good start.
OK, you
3.
start with the 3.
Yes, 3, and it's what is called a cascade is usually the proper way to do it. I haven't done clubs in quite some time. I started in my shop class because the power had gone out. And I would go, and this was my escape out of a small town in Maine, was to juggle my way out and then start with theater. But,
Wow.
there it is.
OK, 4. Come on, 4. Let's go 4. Let's go 4.
If you have balls, I can do 5 balls. I'll
Holy-
try 5 balls.
Yeah,
But
that's not the first time someone said that to me.
I'll give it a shot.
OK, here we go.
People are always fascinated with juggling for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but it's the
because
same principle. It's a 3-ball cascade, which is this. And then let me see if I can do 1 pass to make this happen.
extraordinaire. Wow. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick and Renée are going to leave us, but John's going to stay with us a bit longer. So let's say thank you to Renée Zellweger and Patrick Dempsey. We're going to take a break. Aisling Bea will be with us after the break, and we still have our Team Evening members, and we have music from Tom Odell. So don't go away. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still here with the fabulous Mr. John Malkovich, but let's get my next guest out to join us. She is a brilliant actor. She's also a fabulous comedian. It's Aisling Bea. Thank you for waiting back out. Aisling, John, you've met, I believe. Aisling, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. How about that juggling a minute ago?
Ooh, I was turned on.
Wow. So listen, I mentioned early on, I knew you as a comedian. I'd seen your comedy work. I loved your comedy work. But I didn't know you started as an actor. You didn't start as a comedian.
Yeah, like I've been working, as you say, I was in Holby City, John, so...
Yes.
Yeah, so I heard.
Later. But yeah, I remember when I did it, they were like, do you want to do a Holby City? I was like, oh yeah, cheeky little bit of cancer, amputated leg, yes please. And they were like, the role is an exploding boob job. I was like,
Wow. Hold it. So you played a woman, had both boobs exploded or one?
No, just the one actually. I was quite lucky. Just the one went off. It wasn't quite the party in my pants. It was, yeah, that lucky.
Do you remember which one it
That's
was?
how you look at things, John.
Was it the left or the right?
Wait, now let me go back into character. Ow! Oh, it was the right. So yeah.
You're just back from Los Angeles, I believe. You've been out there, you've been auditioning,
Yeah.
you've been looking for work out there, or been...
Yeah, I mean, it's an odd place. Like, I gig there. When I'm there, I do a lot of stand-up. And that's nice because you can create a little community for yourself. Okay. Because during the day, you're just going from casting to casting, and it can be a little bit... you know, some of the...
John, did you audition much? Or did you have a long period of auditioning before you got bigger parts? Or?
I only have had one audition.
Oh, God! Oh, God! It's been great to be you, John. John, so great to be you.
But I didn't get the part.
Oh,
you didn't get the part? What was it for?
Thing.
I think for a bank.
It was for a bank?
Yeah. All I remember about it is they kept giving a line reading, which was something like, if I get that new apartment. And, you know, you're kind of like, wait, is he going to get it? What's your point?
The exciting thing, actually, though, is that, you know, the acting is certainly taking off over here because you've just finished filming a part in The Fall.
Yeah,
which
we
is
finished
the great
that in
series
January.
with Gillian Anderson and Jamie Dornan on. That's coming out here in
there
September.
I am.
Wow.
That's my serious face. Yeah, no, it's great because it was the director, and writer, Alan Cubitt, took a real chance. Not that he took a chance on me, but I'd done so much comedy that for him to decide that I wasn't just a comedian, that I could actually do the part was like really special. And it's not the biggest part in the world, but I loved it. And it's also like, it's the opposite to me. She's very still. There's a stillness to the character. She has a Northern Irish accent, I hope. I'm sure I'll hear about it on Twitter.
But is that hard for you to do? Because you have the Southern Irish accent. So but is it easier for you to do a Northern Irish than it would be for me or John, do you think? Or is it even tricky?
Yes. Can you do accents?
Oh, yes, I can. John, do you hear that? That's the Northern Ireland.
No, it's great. You're great. You should do movies as well.
Jesus.
Oh, while the Wugged walks, to Wugged West.
Now, hang on. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about Foreign Bodies. You just filmed that in Malaysia? Were you filming in Malaysia?
Yeah, so this is Tom Basden, who's a wonderful stand-up and writer as well. He wrote Plebs. He's done a new show for E4 here, and then I think it's TNT in the States. And it's all about a group of gap year students. So I was like a sort of weirdo they came across on their travels. Very, very tough role to get into. And we were out in Malaysia for a whole month, and it was unbelievable to be out there. But I'm not genetically made to be in the jungle. Like, it's the wrong... I'm like as Irish as a stone. There's nothing... And, like, the pores are too small to let air in or out, so I was just constantly sweating. Because it's Kuala Lumpur is in a city built in the jungle. So it's I was... Like, even people would go to shake my hand, and I'm like, no, fist bump, please don't. And then you'd be like... And they'd be looking at their hands going, did she just hand me ham? I should have ham in my... I'm like, I'm the ham. I am ham. We did this one scene where it was like a sexy scene, and I was a bit nervous about it. And at first I thought I was going to have to get my wops out. But
But you lost one.
But well, one had exploded. Because I'm a method actor as well, so... But instead they put me in like a sort of synthetic negligee. And we were in this, and God love the other actor, Tristan Gravel. He had to be naked, so he had like a little sock on his lad, as we'd say in our... His lad, it would be the Irish for a punis. We were there in this sweaty room with like 9 men. That wasn't what was happening in the scene.
Some scene you're playing there.
I know. I painted it darker than it was. Yeah. But there was like the cameraman and the first AD and everyone, and then they had to turn off the aircon in this little hotel because it was making too much buzzing on the sound. And the heat, I mean, it was like we were all creating rain with our own bodies. And the woman who's doing costume didn't speak much English, and she was just like a bit loud, like that sort of, you know, when someone pretends to whisper in a house, like she did that, and she came over to me and she's like, your boobs making water on dress. And I was like, keep it down a bit. And she's like, cotton wool, and I was like, you want me to put cotton, oh God, so I had to put cotton wool underneath my boobs. And it stayed there, which is that famous test of age. It was like,
Well done.
And then, so we went on with the scene. I was feeling a bit undignified, and we were sort of being a bit sexy. And then she came back and was like, now you're back. And I was like, oh, my back's sweaty. She's like, no, further down. Do you mean my ass crack? Yes, ass crack. Everyone was kind of looking around, and I had to put cotton wool down the middle, and then eventually she just got a hairdryer. I was like, I don't feel sexy anymore.
So did you have a lot of time off? Did you get to enjoy... I've never been to Malaysia. Did you get to enjoy it socially?
Yeah, we did. We'd loads of time off, and we put on a few gigs while we were out there, so we did some stand-up while we were there, and it was amazing to see, like, the equivalent of... Because stand-up's relatively new there. It's kind of about 10 years old, and the clubs are all about 10 years old. And it's amazing to see... There's a big Chinese Malaysian community as well. And it was amazing to see their version of... What's the deal with aeroplane food? Because, which is like kind of like really hacked stand-up. Yeah. They'd be like, oh my God, you know what it's like when you've got a big exam and your mother goes and leaves a chicken at the temple, and people are like, oh my God, I know what that's like. And it was just amazing to be, and it was like, again, you make a little community. Like I was talking with John earlier on, that like in LA, like you make a little community for yourself with stand-up, and you meet people around the world. And so now I've got loads of like Malaysian pals and like stand-up pals there. It was great.
And are you can I ask you, you're single, I believe, aren't you? Were you dating out there?
I'm not going to go out with you, Jonathan. Whoa. I thought I was on this show by merit, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fine. Okay.
So, can I ask something?
Yes, I will go out with you, John Malkovich.
Can I ask? How does the chicken at the temple joke end?
The problem with it wasn't even a great gag. It was just like, hey guys, you know what it's like when you walk and you fall over and people are like, ah! They don't even need like, I know what that's like! Like, sometimes people don't need an intense gag. John, you know, I haven't done it.
I wouldn't make it.
See, but you see, you thought this was old material. This is the best joke she's ever had.
That's what he's ever had. Yeah. Do you know, my friend was I was telling her who I was coming on the show with, and she was like, this is going to sound stupid, so don't say this on the show. But is John Malkovich anything to do with, you know the movie? And I was like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Being John Malkovich.
Yeah. Do you get that a lot, though? Do people ask you what it's like being John Malkovich?
I do get that mostly from journalists, but the thing I get the most is people come up Somebody did it at the little, you know, off-license shop yesterday down by where we stay. They always say I look like John Malkovich. And has anybody ever told me that? And I go, no. And then they go, you sound like John Malkovich. And I say, really? No, I don't know.
And then they're like, but John Malkovich would never come into an off-licence as cheap.
Yes. Oh, yes, he would.
Okay. Aisling is in The Fall on BBC Two. It's out later this month, and John's play opens in Kingston on the 16th.
Rose Theatre, 21st.
Oh, for God's sake, I'm trying my best here. I mean, I am trying. It's not on those. Okay, we'll give it one more go.
John's plays on at the Rose Theatre in Kingston. Try and catch it. It's going to be amazing. Everyone's really excited about it.
I'm not going to leave it at that. Come on. Okay. Will you join me in saying that John and Aisling are to leave to make space for our GB gold medal winners we have in the building? So let's say thank you to John Malkovich and Aisling Bea, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, guys. So let's say still to come on the show, we have 5 gold medal winners from the Olympic Team GB, and we've got music from Tom Odell. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. After the height of the 2012 Olympics in the UK, I think many of us thought Rio would be a bit of a letdown, a little less enthralling, but if anything, it was even better. 2 events in particular stood out for me, the cycling and the hockey. They were just pure, nail-biting excitement, and let me remind you of how it played out. Look at this.
Holly Webb on her way to win gold for Great Britain. Webb turns, scores! That's the golden goal! Great Britain have won the Olympic gold medal! The history makers!
They come up towards the line. Laura Trott is Britain's most successful female Olympian of all time. Jason Kenny's got work to do. Here he comes. He's going to have to go around the outside. It's Eilert against Kenny now. Into the finishing straight. Up towards the line. Jason Kenny's got it. What a ride. It's a golden hat-trick in Rio for Jason Kenny.
That's incredible, wasn't it? So, will you please welcome from the gold medal winning hockey team, we have Holly Webb, Maddie Hinch and Kate Richardson-Walsh, and we have the Olympics' very own golden couple, Laura Trott and Jason Kenny. Here they are. Hello, Laura. Thank you for waiting. Jason, how are you? That might be painless. Hello, how are you? Lovely to meet you, Maddie. Hello again, Kate. Thank you for joining us. Thanks a lot. You see, we had some of the biggest stars from the world of film on today, and none of them got a reception like that. Incredible. Well, I'm sure you've heard this a lot from a lot of people, but congratulations on your incredible achievement, and thank you as well. Let's start with hockey, if we can, because for you to get gold after not finishing so well in the World Championships, that was a surprise. Did you go in optimistically, or were you as surprised as we all were by your achievement?
I mean, you didn't believe?
Well, I wanted to believe.
Yeah. No, we believed that we had what it took, but it was an absolute rollercoaster. 11th at the World Championships out of 12 was a real low point. So we were turning it around slowly, and we knew we had what it took in the squad. It just had to all come together at the right moment.
Clearly, the work you put in paid off. I don't just mean in the work you put in, actually, you know, the physical side of things, but also the kind of mental work and the preparation, because you had studied all of the players' penalty-taking techniques, hadn't you, Maddie?
Yeah, my little black book that has no numbers in. That was... yeah, I basically come up with a game plan. You know, at the top level, everyone's very good, so I make sure I do my homework, and I just basically came up with a plan of what those guys might do under pressure. And under pressure, people resort to their strengths 99% out of the time. So, and they did. The Dutchies all did what I wrote down, and thankfully that worked out for us.
Did you call them the Dutchies there? The Dutchies? I'm not sure we're allowed to say that, but obviously it's... I don't know. I've never met a Dutchie, so I don't know. And Holly, you scored the winning goal.
Yeah.
Of course, so
Quite
really...
surprised.
So So really, you won the medal, really. I mean,
No, there's 31 of us that train at Bishop Abbey, and every single one of those girls has got a part in this medal that we've got.
It's kind of a brutal game as well, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of...
dangerous.
Yeah. And
It's not as what's happened to your finger, I mean... Goodness.
Yes, and where's my medal?
We've got you one.
Oh, wow. Okay, look at that. Oh, look at that. Whose medal is it? I really, you know, obviously I deserve one, but that's not the point. No, it's lovely. Now, you don't have your medals with you tonight, do you?
No.
Why not? Where are they?
Because in typical Jason fashion, we have to leave 5 minutes later than the set time. So we were late, and then we didn't have time to go back together.
So you just left them somewhere?
Yeah, they're abandoned.
But not at a petrol station or something. I mean, they're at home, I hope, are they?
Yeah, they're at home.
And you guys, the big story, of course, was you guys as a couple as well. And that's there's been a lot of interest on that. Did that make it harder or easier for you, knowing that people wanted you both to get gold? Because obviously that's, you know, the icing on the cake for us.
I never thought about it, to be honest.
You don't think about me, see? This is how this relationship works.
I'm sure he does think about you. Do you think about it, Jason?
Yeah, occasionally, yeah.
But how incredible, and thank you both for being here, because you are our most successful female Olympian of all time. I believe. And you are joint top as well, I believe, with Sir Chris Hoy.
Yes, second on alphabetical order, I think.
Now, does that spur you on? Are you going to go back for more in 4 years' time? Are you guys planning ahead for 4 years' time? Let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. Obviously, with the way British cycling works, I've got to get back in the team. So after having a break, I mean, you never know. I might be sidelined. So...
No, you sort of pointed at Jason. I thought you meant...
Like him.
No, I didn't mean that. I thought maybe you had plans for families, what I thought you meant.
Oh, no. Oh, I regret that tweet. It was funny. I sent it out there because I was like, you know, people are going to retweet this. I'll get more followers.
What was the tweet? Just remind us in case we didn't see it.
That our kids will have good genes.
Yeah.
They will, won't they?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
But you're not actually, you don't have any concrete plans for children just yet?
No, not just yet. No. Okay. We can barely look after ourselves.
So, you guys, well, I was asking Law and Jason if they're going back for 2020. Of course, what are your plans for the team? Obviously, you have a busy time ahead. I know there's another World Championship coming up, but are you all hoping to be in the team, or any of you not going to be in the team for the next one, do you think?
Yeah, there's World Championships in London coming up in 2018, so that'll be the focus for the squad carrying on. But it's time to hang up the international stick for me. It's been a long old... Oh, bless you. No, it's time. It's definitely time. I've been captain for 13 years, so I'm going over to Holland to play domestic hocky over there, so that'll be a good challenge.
But what an incredible thing to be captain for that long and to be able to say, OK, I took that team to gold victory in an event which we've never won the gold before, I believe. So that is, you know, if you're going to have a time to call it a day, then that's the time, isn't it?
Don't be making me cry, George.
I hope you know how much we know what a fantastic achievement that is for the whole team, but for you as captain as well. You know, you're the heart and soul of that team, and you inspired them all, I think, and I feel I'm right in saying that, aren't I?
Yeah, definitely. She was one of my inspirations when I was growing up. I know I've said this to her before, and she finds it quite embarrassing, but I was at primary school when the City Olympics...
Hold on, that's a backhanded compliment.
I didn't mean it like that. So I was at primary school, and that was the first Olympic Games that I watched and was just glued to the TV and got goosebumps. And Kate and Helen both played in that Olympic Games, and so those two have just been an inspiration for me, and especially Kate, she's a defender and I'm a defender, has just been an inspiration throughout my whole hockey career, and I can't believe I've even played with her, let alone won a gold medal with her. So she's a living legend.
Wow. I imagine, what was it like the night when it was over? You guys were already back here, I guess, but on the night when you got your medals together in Rio, how did you celebrate? Did you celebrate that evening?
No, we just went back to the... we're boring. Yeah. We just went back to the Athletes Village and ate pizza all night, that's it.
But I guess in a way that must have been nice, because presumably you can't eat pizza all the time when you're training.
No, exactly. Well, I actually wanted McDonald's, but Jace took too long to get ready.
Wow. Did you forgive me for asking this question, but I know there's so much interest that you've been asked this before. Do you have a date set for the wedding?
No, not yet. Like, soon, hopefully. We've obviously been engaged for a while now. So
How long have you been engaged for?
since December 2014.
Wow. And are you going to try and keep it private, or are you going to be quiet? But I guess you'll probably have to say when it is, won't you?
No, do we?
Well, we'll have
Why
to tell
would we?
some people, or no one will come.
That's a no-nonsense approach. Yeah. OK. Will you join me in saying thank you again? And hopefully people will keep congratulating you and applauding you for your remarkable achievements for months to come. So will you say thank you with me to Holly, to Kate, to Maddie, to Jason and to Laura. Let's say thank you to our Team DB, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, and you were great. Thank you. Thanks to all my other guests tonight, of course. But now, performing Here I Am, here he is. It's the fabulous Tom Odell.